The 2024 quarterback class was supposed to be historic. 6 quarterbacks in the first 12 picks. But somehow, the one playing the best football right now was the one the league doubted the most. Bo Nix wasn't supposed to be this. He wasn't supposed to be the guy outplaying Mahomes, stealing games late, and dragging Denver into contender status. He was supposed to be a safe pick, a system QB, a guy teams could pass on without thinking twice. But the NFL miscalculated. Badly. Because this version of Bo Nix, this is the version the league never believed existed, and the version it never wanted to deal with. But to understand how we got here, we need to rewind. Because before Bo Nix became the quarterback nobody wanted to face, he was the quarterback nobody wanted to believe in. Even with elite production, even with records that should have demanded attention, teams kept finding reasons to look past him. He led Division I in touchdown passes with 45, broke the NCAA completion percentage record at 77.4%, and started more games than any quarterback in college football history. And after transferring to Oregon, he went 22-5 and turned the Ducks into a machine. In other seasons, it's possible that more attention would have been paid to Nix, but he spent the months leading into the draft in the shadows of Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, 2 Heisman Trophy winners with sensational highlight reels. Nix, on the other hand, was seen as more of a game manager, a solid quarterback who wouldn't turn the ball over, but not one primed for the NFL's elite. Other criticisms of Nix centered around his age, as he was one of the older quarterbacks in the draft, at the age of 24. As a result, there were many who were arguing that his ceiling had already been reached. There were also questions about his lack of arm strength and whether he would be able to succeed outside of the specific offensive system at Oregon. Some draft reports even took him out of the first round altogether. Bleacher Report's profile described him as an incomplete player for someone who has played so much football, placing him as a 3rd round pick comparable to Andy Dalton. Obviously, NFL teams didn't quite agree with that, but he did drop all the way to the 12th overall pick, even behind Michael Penix Jr. and JJ McCarthy. But so far, he's outshone both of those guys in the NFL. And honestly, he might just be the best quarterback in the class. Week in, week out, he shows off the tools that won him so many games in college and are continuing to win him games as a pro. What Nix has shown in his time in the league so far is that his age and experience was not a drawback, and instead, a positive. He looked poised and ready to compete as a rookie, adjusting to the speed of the pro game better than many in his class. It turns out that making nearly 2,000 throws over 5 years in college gives you plenty of invaluable experience, which translates well to the NFL. Nix isn't quite as accurate as he was in college, but his decision-making is still very impressive for a rookie quarterback, and he constantly looks calm and composed in the pocket. He's capable of making things happen with his arm or with his legs, and has a real ability to get out of tough situations on his feet. Indeed, in the 2025 season, no one has a lower sack percentage than Nix, who's been sacked on less than 3% of his dropbacks. That tendency for quick thinking, whether to roll out of the pocket and escape, or to simply avoid negative plays by throwing the ball away, has served him well so far, and he already looks like he's been in the league for years. In the most important statistical categories, he stacks up extremely well against his peers as well. During his rookie year, his 29 touchdown passes ranked 6th in the league, more than any other rookie, and even more than both Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. On top of that, his 3,775 passing yards were more than any of his contemporaries in the draft class, even Offensive Rookie of the Year Jaden Daniels. For his efforts, Nix earned a place in the NFL Top 100 list at number 64, a testament to how he'd convinced his peers of his quality in just 17 games of football. After his rookie season, it was clear to everyone that Nix belonged at this level. But it also seemed that he hadn't quite hit his ceiling, which Nix himself was more aware of than anyone. In a press conference, Nix said,
I just want to continue to show these guys that I'm willing to work and find every which way we can to find wins and find every which way for me to get better. I know I got a lot of growth left, a lot to be done. But these guys are going to help me get there. And so we're just out here kind of sharpening each other, going best on best and just finding ways to make each other better.
Thankfully, it's fair to say he's got the right coach and system to elevate him to the next level. Broncos head coach Sean Payton spent 15 seasons in New Orleans molding one of the best offenses in football around an intelligent quarterback with excellent accuracy in Drew Brees. Now, time will tell if Bo Nix reaches those kinds of heights, but both men are absolutely prime candidates for a Sean Payton offense, and playing under Payton is undoubtedly a huge part of Nix's NFL development. Payton clearly saw the potential in Nix that others were missing and figured that he'd be able to unlock it if he got his hands on him. So far, he's been proven 100% right. Payton's offensive scheme is designed for guys like Nix, quick passers who can move the chains, find open receivers, and take what the defense gives you. Through using play action and RPOs, Payton has done what he can to get the best out of Nix. And so far, the young quarterback has been repaying this faith. It took him a little while to adapt to the system, and his first 2 starts saw him throw 4 interceptions. But in the following 11 games, he threw just 2, alongside 16 touchdowns in a run that showed the league that this Denver team was for real after years of quarterback purgatory. And now, Payton is more confident than ever that Nix is that guy in Denver. Leading into the 2025 season, he claimed, "Beyond the coaching, Denver has also spent big on the offensive line, building one of the league's best units and keeping their star signal caller protected. In Quinn Miners, Luke Wattenberg, Garrett Bowles, and Mike McGlinchey, this is a superb unit that PFF currently ranks as the league's second best, behind only that of the Indianapolis Colts. In terms of offensive firepower, the team isn't quite as stacked, but there are weapons for Nix to work with here. Courtland Sutton has been the team's #1 receiver for a while, and he's already built up a better relationship with Nix than any of the previous passers he's seen in Denver, ranging from Drew Lock to Case Keenum. Sutton topped 1,000 yards for the first time in 5 years in 2024 and looks well placed to do so again this time around. The rest of the receiving core is a mixed bag, but Nix is helping Troy Franklin enjoy a bit of a breakout, while also getting rookie running back RJ Harvey involved in the passing game. These 2 young studs have 11 touchdowns between them through the first 10 weeks. In this system, targets will get open, and Nix is more than capable of going through his reads and finding the open man, especially in the red zone. It's clear that Nix is constantly progressing and improving in this system.
He's he's light years further along. He's doing well.
How would picks today if you just...
Yeah. Look, we're charting picks here like hurricanes.
But of course, franchise quarterbacks aren't judged on their practices, they're judged on their ability to make those big plays in big moments that win football games. And right now, no one in the league is quite doing that like Bo Nix. So far in the 2025 season, he's tied for the most fourth quarter comebacks and game-winning drives with Caleb Williams with 4, as he constantly pulls out clutch drives when the Broncos need him most. The first of these was a phenomenal fourth quarter in Philadelphia, where he led back-to-back touchdown drives against the reigning champions, picking apart the Eagles' defense and pulling out a shock road victory as a result. On the second of those drives, he took just 6 plays to drive the team 72 yards, finishing off with a touchdown pass to Evan Ingram. Then he came up clutch again with a 2-point conversion pass to Troy Franklin, giving the team a lead late in the fourth quarter, which they would ultimately see out. The most ridiculous of Nix's fourth quarter comebacks came in the incredible game at home to the New York Giants. Nix and the Broncos had a first 45 minutes to forget and trailed 19-0 going into the fourth, but they flipped the game totally on its head, with 33 points in the game's final 15 minutes, giving the Broncos one of the unlikeliest wins you'll ever see. This included 4 straight touchdown drives, 2 of which took less than a minute for Nix to lead his team to the end zone. In all 4 of these drives, though, Nix looks totally unfazed by his struggles in the previous 3 quarters, shaking off his previous issues and managing to piece together superb drives under the highest pressure. The most recent of these fourth quarter comebacks came in the biggest game of the lot against the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 11. Nix was composed and clinical, converting multiple third downs on the final drive of the game, including a 3rd and 15. Then, to clinch it, he found Troy Franklin for 32 yards with a beauty, setting up the game-winning chip shot for Will Lutz. It was a hell of a game for the sophomore, outplaying Patrick Mahomes when the pressure was at its absolute highest. In just his second season, he's showing a coolness beyond his years, and the confidence in his ability to make big plays is shared by his teammates. All-pro cornerback Patrick Surtain said of Nix,
Bo, I just think he's so calm and collected. You rarely see that from a rookie. You could tell he looked like a vet out there.
Whilst Nix obviously still has progress to make in order to reach his ceiling, His clutch gene and his ability to dig out wins are absolutely not in question. Honestly, when Bo Nix is on the field, the game never feels done. As he said himself after that Giants comeback,
"Well, I feel bad for the people that left early."
It doesn't even matter if you're the best defense in the NFL. Bo Nix can still hurt you in the fourth quarter, as the Houston Texans found out in Week 9. Down 15-7 going into the fourth, Nix found RJ Harvey down the right sideline for a 27-yard touchdown, before following that up with a 2-point conversion to Troy Franklin to tie things up. After both teams kept exchanging scoreless drives, we saw Nix take the game into his own hands on the game's final drive. The highlight of the drive was a 25-yard scramble which set up the game-winning field goal and demonstrated something else about Nix. For all the talk of him as a system quarterback or game manager, he really does have the ability to improvise, to extend plays, and to make magic happen when the team needs it the most. And it's exactly that which puts him right up there with the other quarterbacks from his draft class. Obviously, Jaden Daniels lit up the league at times last season, especially in clutch moments. But he hasn't been able to replicate that this season so far, as he and his Commanders appear to have taken a step back in 2025, not to mention the injuries he has suffered. Nix, on the other hand, continues to get wins in the bag for his team, even if he isn't always playing the best football. He spoke about his development after the Houston comeback, saying, "I've just learned a different kind of patience as I've grown. You just have to eventually learn as a quarterback how important that next play really is, and if you can just get in a better situation than you were the play prior, then you did your job." This speaks to Nix's mental toughness and his ability to persevere and try to make things happen even in games where the chips are down, which any coach will tell you is a vital trait for any quarterback to have. He has the decision making, the ability to make clutch plays, and the mentality that most young quarterbacks simply never develop. Honestly, the fact that 5 different quarterbacks were selected ahead of Nix already seems wild, and it will only get wilder with time. The signs were there in college that Bo Nix had all of the potential to be an elite NFL quarterback, and yet he was passed up by 11 teams, some of whom will be seriously regretting that now. Some said he didn't have great arm strength, some said he'd already reached his ceiling, some said he wouldn't be able to thrive outside of Oregon's system. Well, it turns out all of those people were wrong, and Bo Nix proves them wrong almost every Sunday in the National Football League. This is a quarterback who was overlooked, undervalued, and ignored during the draft process, and is now sitting atop the AFC West, looking down on Patrick Mahomes and his Chiefs, and set up to be a real star in this league for years to come. He's dynamic, fearless, and he makes it happen in the very biggest moments of all. This is the version of Bo Nix that the NFL never wanted, and the league is going to have to deal with him for years to come.